am a big fan of EF Ultimate Break. If you don't know what they are a travel company meant for people who are ages 18 to 35, and it's for group travel, so you just pick the trip that you want to. You can sign up alone or with another person, and it's all planned for you, often at a cheaper price than if you did all those things alone. And they have so many awesome trips on their website. I'm always looking through it, trying to think of the ones that I want to go on next. So I thought I could make a quick video to tell you some universal items that you should bring with you when you're packing, based off of the EF trips that I've been on, and just so everyone can be prepared together, because I think I have some things on this list that you might not think of if you haven't been traveling for a while, or if this is your very first trip ever with EF. So right away, the first thing that's on my list is a travel adapter for outlets. In case you didn't know this, not all outlets in the world look like the US ones, like the 2 prongs or like the 3 sometimes. They actually all look different. So this is a block that is from Epica, which has 3 different options that push out of it, so it all fits in one block, which I think is really cool. But a block like this is something super important to pack on your EF trips, especially if you're going somewhere in Europe, because they will not have the same outlet shapes. So you can't just plug your phone into the wall. You have to plug it into something else before plugging it in. Same thing goes with like if you're charging a laptop, a camera, or like a hair dryer. If you're trying to plug any of that in, it won't work unless you have an adapter. So I'm gonna link this down below because I think it's a pretty cool one, but there's tons of options out there. But this one I think was only around like $20, and it has not failed me. The second thing that I would never go on an EF trip without is a backpack. And I usually bring a carry-on size luggage item, like roller luggage. So then I usually want to bring a larger backpack with me so I can fit more, but still like carry-on size so it fits under the seat. So this is one that I really like. It's a super cute color. It's from Baboon to the Moon. It also can turn into a duffel bag if you extend these straps, which is literally so cool. And I actually won this in a contest with EF, so very happy about this one. And similarly, this is one that I found on Amazon, which is the same sort of concept. It actually unzips and opens up like luggage. So if you have extra clothes or things that don't fit in your carry-on size luggage, you can fit them in this and it'll still slide under your seat. This is from Labardi, and I think it's like $40. The other one is more expensive. The one that I won is like $170 or something. But this one is actually pretty affordable, and I think it's super cool. It's also something I ordered from Amazon, which I will link down below again. But on other trips, I've just brought a smaller backpack, like one that I've used for school. Also works just as well. This one's from Herschel. It hasn't fallen apart in like 5 years that I've used it for school and travel after that. So I think this is a good brand if you're looking for something that's a little smaller. And then just along with having a larger backpack to put stuff in when you're actually traveling around, just for EF you go on a lot of bus rides where all you really need is like your phone, some water, and like a sweatshirt, and you can leave that bag on the bus when you're out sightseeing with or touring with the group. So I would bring also a smaller tote bag that you can just like throw stuff in, and when you pack it into your actual luggage, it can get super small, so it doesn't take up like any space. This one is from Baggu, which is my favorite tote bag brand. They use all sustainable fabrics, and they have really cute patterns, and it's super durable. It never rips, and you can fit a lot of stuff in this. This is just their standard size, and I think these are $8 to $10, but I love these, and I definitely think you should bring something similar to that, so you don't have to bring your actual like larger backpack that you brought on the plane with you on every outing that you go on if you're just bringing a couple things. Okay, this is where the list goes a little off of like a standard list of things you think to pack for you on a trip, but I think it's something that I would never go on an EF trip without is liquid IV. If you haven't heard of it, it's sort of like a higher class of Propel or Gatorade. There's these little packets that you mix into a bottle of water, and they have electrolytes, they have sugars and salts, everything that helps make you more hydrated, and they're also flavored pretty fun. Like this one's lemon lime, and I think it tastes pretty good. But this is something that I think is really important because, for example, if you're going out a lot on the trip, because it's all people your age, if you're going out to bars or something, you don't want to waste your entire next day feeling awful. So this kind of thing will help you get over that and make you hydrated again, make you not feel terrible or sick on any bus rides. And then another reason why I think these are important is because if you go on an EF trip, like the one that I did to Egypt, it's so hot. It was like 110 degrees every single day. I don't think it got below 100 the entire time we were there. And even if you were just chugging water, which I was, I drank so much water, Just water is not going to hydrate you the same way that electrolytes will, or salts and sugars. Like, just water will go straight through you. What you really need is something that's going to get into your bloodstream and keep you hydrated for longer. So regardless if you're going to a really hot trip with EF, something tropical, something in the desert, or if you're going to be going out a lot, I think that Liquid IV is super useful. I got this big pack from Costco, ordered it online, and it delivered straight to my house. I will also try to find an Amazon option to link below for you. But there's a lot of flavors. I really like it. I think it's kind of genius for you to pack that on your trip. Okay, the next thing on my list is kind of general, but just comfy walking shoes. My favorite shoes that I wear literally all the time, I wore them probably every day in Egypt, are my New Balances. I had to get a new pair since then because those were so dusty and ruined. I had them for maybe a year before that. But I think that these last pretty long. They're really cute. They're not like, I don't know, shoes that you wouldn't want to wear with cute outfits, which is why I like to bring New Balances on vacation or travel. Same thing goes for like any sandals you bring. You want them to be comfortable. I have some Doc Marten ones, which are actually really comfortable. I just do not think that you will have an EF trip where you walk less than a mile every single day. You're gonna be out walking, sightseeing, hanging out, going out at night. So many things that I would not pack a single pair of shoes, no matter how cute it is, if they give you blisters or if they're uncomfortable. Like, only pack comfortable shoes. That's a huge tip. Another thing that you really need to bring with you, even if you're going somewhere cold, like Iceland or somewhere in the winter, you might not think you need sunglasses. You do need sunglasses. Even on my Egypt trip, people forgot sunglasses, and I was like, what? How did you forget that? It's just awful if you're trying to see things. Like, that's the point of travel. You're trying to see things, and if you're squinting the whole time, it's giving you a headache. It's just not gonna be as fun as if you could put on some sunglasses and feel a lot better. My favorite pair right now are literally just cheap ones from Target. I think they're from the men's section, but they're like an aviator shape. I wear them every single day on my trip, and I'm going to on my next trip too, even though it's gonna be in the winter. It's always sunny. Just bring some sunglasses. You will not regret it. And then the next thing that you for sure need to bring, I'm like digging in my purse right now, because these are all things, well, some of them that I carry in day-to-day life too, but you definitely need some noise canceling headphones. I have my AirPods, which I think work pretty well for noise cancellation. I want to get some that go over your ears too, like over your head. I think that those would also work just as well. But the reason for this is because you're gonna be on the plane for a while to get to your destination. If you want to sleep, you can put your noise canceling headphones in, listen to something quiet, and keep everyone else out. Same thing goes for all the bus rides on EF. If you're not feeling well, you might just want to not listen to anyone, not talk to anyone, put some headphones in. And also, you're gonna have a roommate, so you don't want to be like playing videos out loud if you're on your phone, anything like that. So if you have headphones, you can put them in at night if you're trying to be on your phone and not like bother your roommate, or if you just need some alone time, or if you just want to listen to some music. Headphones are always something you definitely need to pack. And then this list kind of ends with just some general things that I think you need for every single trip you go on, regardless if it's through EF or not. But I'm just gonna go through them pretty quickly. But so you're bringing a passport, because if you're going somewhere out of the country, you need that to get there. But you should also make photocopies of your passport, print them out, keep them in your wallet or your purse or your backpack. Just don't keep it in the same place as your passport is when you're traveling, because if you lose it, you need to be able to show them something to show that you have a passport so you can get back into the country with the group. So make a photocopy, keep that with you at all times. Secondly, if you can get cash for the country that you're going to before you leave, that would be a great idea. Even just like $100 of currency in the other country that you're going to is going to be really helpful. A lot of people on my trip to Egypt, it wasn't possible to get cash because most banks don't carry their currency, but if you were traveling somewhere in Europe, a euro is carried at most banks in the United States. But I'm saying this because at our first hotel, everyone was like, oh, we'll just get cash out there, and the ATM was out of money or it didn't work. So no one had cash for the beginning of that trip, and that was stressful. So if you can get some money out beforehand, just a little bit before you can get to an ATM in that actual country, that'll be super helpful. Secondly, you definitely want to have two forms of payment with you, like a credit card and a debit card. If one does not work, you want to have a backup, and you do not want to be like asking people if you can Venmo them, even though they probably would say yes. It's more stress for them, it's more stress for you, and it's just easier to not have to call your bank and tell them that something's not working if you have another option you can use right away to pay. And then the last thing you should remember to bring on an EF trip specifically is a tip for your guide. They usually say $50 to $60 US, and then whatever that converts into in their local currency. is a good tip for the end of a trip. So you can either get that in US dollars before you leave or get it in the local currency once you get there, but just budget that in, I think, is something that's really important to do because your guide does so much that whole trip. They are gonna be the ones that like make or break your trip basically, and luckily a lot of the guides for EF trips are super great, super smart, and just knowledgeable about everything that you're doing. So you want to say thank you to them at the end with a tip. So that was the end of my list of things that I think you need to bring on every single EF trip you go on. Let me know if there's any other things that you would add to that list in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.